the hook that gets something done to get them involved, to be involved in that celebration. I mean, we just have to be resourceful. We spend too much time talking about the problems and too little time talking about the solutions. But I think we're moving on that. So you've got some
Right.
names, you've got some ideas. We don't need to bring this person back. We need to get his knowledge
Okay, sure.
and work on that because he's done his job.
Yeah.
Take the knowledge and let's get some new fresh blood in here. Yeah, don't kill him, man. The man, he retired. He's done. Get the knowledge, bring some new people in here, and get it done. To me, that's what do you call it? That's a pass off to say, maybe we can get him back. No, you can't get him back. He left, y'all killing him. So let's get some new people here, new blood. You're the Anacostia.
Well, I'm not the
director
new blood. No, I'm
No,
just
but you're the
2 years younger than him.
Coordinator.
He is, okay.
You're the Anacostia Coordinating Committee. Let's
Yeah.
coordinate something
Absolutely.
for the future.
Okay.
Let's not go back.
Right. As a matter of fact, if you go down just one block on the other side of the street, you will see those row of businesses, and then there's that big field. You'll see that mural that's up there, and one of the things is Malcolm X Day. Right? So
You got that.
But sure, just get those names, and then I can.
This is going around there.
For sure.
So please sign the list if you want to be on it.
So I think we get that list. What's the next issue?
I thought you had a question, and I think we're gonna bring them for the
Yes.
next.
Sure. Thank you so much for actually coming and speaking with us. Very insightful. I'll try to be rapid fire, keep track. First, thank you. Actually, towards the end of your speech, you got to some of the things I want to know about how your community the coordination council actually organizes, or some successes that you've had. I think that's always important to focus on. So I live in historic Shaw, Truxton area, right? And I've been there. I live right across the street from the masjid. I'm not
Okay.
from DC, but I'm from LA. But I come from our parallel community in LA to DC, right? So I wanted to be around a Muslim community. I wanted to be around Black community. I wanted to feel like at home in DC. But let's be honest. I mean, Shaw has changed.
And you know, and may I make a point about that?
Yeah.
Or an observation. When I talked about how our community engagement
Yeah.
project is trying to revitalize and restore civic associations, the same way that people can be displaced and from a community, a community or a neighborhood's history and culture can also be not only displaced, replaced, and erased. An example of that is when you have new people who come into the community, and DC has now approximately 1,000 new people moving in a month. They have no connections to the past, and an example of that is what Shaw is going through, because you've had people who've come in and done a little historical research, and the next thing you know, there are parts of what used to be Shaw now being called what? Truxton Circle, right, around Dunbar and everything like that. You know, I would dare say a lot of those people who were born and bred in that part of Shaw were not aware of the fact that now all of a sudden they were living in Truxton Circle. I mean, you know, let's look at a situation like Nomar. There was no historical neighborhood called Nomar. Yeah, no. The so-called Nomar started off as a business improvement district, and somehow it morphed into a neighborhood to the point that its name is on the metro and everything. The way things keep going. But see, I'm gonna tell you what is happening. ACC is addressing this issue. I think the DC government did a very dangerous thing when it decided to remove itself from naming neighborhoods outside of the historic districts, which are done by law. The Office of Planning says that now it will no longer set, I draw boundaries. It's up to the people who live in the community to decide, what they want to call themselves, pretty much. And that might sound very democratic, but it's not, because it's very dangerous. As I say, you just move into communities, and people, next thing you know, erase the whole thing. There's new stuff going on. There was a predominantly Black neighborhood in Northwest around the Banneker Recreation Center that was called Pleasant Plains. Now, all of a sudden, they got people in there. They've created new civic associations, North Columbia Heights, and like, and that type of thing. The way things are going on, maybe where we are now will be Georgetown South.
No,
You know, like,
it's not gonna be already, you probably guys don't even notice it.
yeah.
This area up the street is called Bellevue.
Yeah.
They're about to build, right on South Capitol and Land Street.
Yes.
6-unit apartment, condos
Yeah.
and apartments. Already Metro is about to change the name of the A8 when it goes in the line.
Yes.
It's gonna be called Bellevue. They got signs up already. I live in the neighborhood.
Right.
It's gonna be called Bellevue area.
Well, that's the point.
Well, I mean,
that's the issue. I mean,
Yeah.
for various reasons, my work, where I
Mhm.
live, people I
Mhm.
connect with, I'm able to frequent different type of networks and
Mhm.
hear discussions on how people talk about DC as they're looking about home ownership. So
Mhm.
I live in Shaw, and I see what it's like. And I'm not against the amenities and things that come with quote unquote gentrification, but I
Mhm.
think all communities should be able to benefit and have those type of areas of recreation,
Yeah.
businesses to frequent and so forth. There's nothing wrong with that. We
Mhm.
should, how do we organize that? But yes, it's the way you hear how people it's very predatory.
Yeah.
It's like they're like everything else west of the Anacostia is done. It's like they have their sights seen for like a 10-year plan on how they're going to take over the southeast. They're not using this kind of strategic bankhead type of language, but you see that's what they're doing. It's like, yeah, we're going to have to go in there in 5 years and survive for a while, but it's going to change. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, who's going to benefit? And who's going to no longer be there? And so it's kind of important. I'm glad that you shared some degree of that. And I want to know, like, what other organizations, citywide or so forth, you're organizing. Master Muhammad is trying to become much more active in WIN, Washington Interfaith Network.
Okay.
And I'm trying to be more active in that issue too. So just kind of like who you're networking and bringing in the faith voice.
Well, I think it would be important. We have a real, I would say, crying need to have more representative of the Islamic faith community attend our monthly meetings, because it's not something that's constant. It's kind of hit and miss. Also, I just want to say, I think it's really important that this museum get very much involved in the conversations, activities that are going, that are around the coming 11th Street Bridge project. That's huge, multi-million-dollar, huge. That's the bridge that's going to connect Capitol Hill and Anacostia. The impact on this immediate neighborhood is going to be profound. As a result of the 11th Street Bridge project, they have formed what is called an equitable development effort, because once that opens, or even already, it's going to be such a huge amenity in the city that the prices are going to just, housing prices are just going to go through the roof. So there's now a constant effort, and a very vigorous effort is being made in this community, particularly within a mile radius of the Ward 8 foot of the bridge where the museum is, to do everything possible to keep the people who want to live here, here. And so that every effort can be made so that there will be equitable development and people won't be pushed out. So just let's talk so that, anytime they have those community meetings, I don't know, has the museum been invited to any of them?
No.
Well, that's gotta stop, and I gotta make sure.
My last question I just want to ask,
Yeah.
because I'm from
Mhm.
Los Angeles,
Sure.
and I have the benefit of being mentored by Maulana Karenga. Every year I go back for Kwanzaa Karamu. And I've been asking for years.
And we celebrate Kwanzaa.
That's crazy. I want to know when, because I've searched online. I've
December-
asked Dr. Karanga. He was like, "There's nothing in DC. He
That's
always
it.
goes to Baltimore." So there is.
The problem, I'm gonna say, the situation in the District of Columbia in terms of the celebration of Kwanzaa, outside of what people do individually, we don't have the organized daily celebrations
Okay.
that we used to see. Like at one time, the Union Temple used to have the nightly thing, but they didn't have it like really for the past 2 years. We might find some organizations that might do one day and everything,
That's
but
true.
yeah, you might do one day, but to find some place that you can go to for those 7 days of Kwanzaa, and be
Well, Dr.
certain that
Kringle,
it doesn't
Dr.
have to.
Kringle does
Right.
his national tour before Quantico, because he always
Yeah.
goes back to LA for that.
Yeah.
I would love to be part of something where we could at least get him to come, not just to Baltimore,
Well, you two
but
need to get
DC.
together.
Okay, well, as I said, what we do is that we when we say celebrate Kwanzaa, we have just one evening where we have someone come and talk about, like Kwanzaa, talk about Hanukkah, talk about the Prophet Muhammad, but we will actually have the Kinara there
Yeah.
so that people they'll know by the time they walk out of an ACC thing, they'll have at least a basic knowledge of emoji, Ujima, Ujama, Nia, Kurma, Imani. So yeah, let's talk. If we could get, matter of fact, Karanka was here in Anacostia last year, wasn't he?
Sure was, came back.
He came over, wasn't he at Union Temple? Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay.
I,
Thank you.
I think you had one more point that you said you would.
No, that was it, that's it.
Okay,
Oh,
I
yeah,
just
okay.
want one point, and we're gonna have to make some adjustments, because next we're late, so we're gonna have to divide the panel. But I don't want Phil to go, I think I want you to at least share with us, if I could say right, I've heard y'all share how DC is set up, like by the ANCs, I think you said something about 2,000 families or 2,000 people each.
Oh, in each single member district.
So they can understand how to strategize.
Oh, okay. That's a totally different. Okay.
Just a few minutes, man.
A few minutes on the ANC.
And y'all take his number and
You don't get
information.
everything. When DC gained home rule, one of the, I guess it was part of a deal that in order to get home rule, there was this congressman from Minnesota at the time, Congressman Frazier, who had this idea for participatory democracy at a grassroots level. That's where the ANCs came about. It's a unique form of grassroots governance where here in the District of Columbia, you have the city that is proportioned according to what they call single-member districts of 2,000 residents, approximately 2,000 residents. And these grassroots representatives who are elected every 2 years, it's nonpartisan, they receive no compensation. I think there are 299 commissioners in the city, 287, 299. It changes with every 10 years when we have the census. But here in Ward 8, we have 5 ANCs, and each ANC has 7 members. So we have 35 commissioners. They get money from the district government, not a lot, but in order to function. And according to the law, advisory neighborhood commissions are to be given great weight in terms, and that's the word that's used in terms of issues like licensing. If you have a problem, say, with the liquor store, somebody pointed out, or anything, and you don't think it should be, license should be renewed, you go to your ANC meeting, they have to vote on that type of stuff. How many of you have actually gone to the ANC meeting? Okay, well, this is a pretty reformed group, I can like that. And how often does your commissioner come in? Huh? Okay, well, right there. So, it's important to get involved with them because they, after all, they are your representatives.
Thank you. Thank you. If you don't mind, Phil, give a contact number, reach the
Oh,
ANC.
certainly. To reach the ANCs.
It's you, man, ACC.
My number is 889-4900. 889-4900. My office is right around the corner. 889-4900, and my email address is acc01@aol.com. Yes,
AOL.
Yeah, we still have an AOL, which actually shows how.
Dinosaur.
I know, I was
It's the number.
I was the last person in my family and neighborhood to stop using my 8-track, so.
Don't worry about it, Phil. I'm still on Juno, man.
And I have a rotary dial phone too. Huh?
No, I'm talking about.
Is that it?
Phil.
That's it. Thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you, all right. Okay, all right.
I apologize, I'm gonna try to readjust. I'm gonna first ask Brother Cherry, can I readjust your time? Thank you, my brother. Because the Advocacy One group, one of the participants gonna have to leave on time, and we're a little bit behind time. So I wanna bring that panel up, and they're gonna open up and discuss, and after that panel will come and bring up the other part component of organizing and getting involved. So I'd like to bring up Brother Robert McCraw from CARE, Christy Williams from Catholic Legal Immigration Network, and I believe I saw one more person. I'm gonna bring you up here also, my brother. And he's from the mayor's office, and he's part of the Advocacy 2. Rockman Branch will not be here.
Can I just like speak for like 1
Yes,
second? please?
yeah.
So like
Nice and loud.
anything that I say, like right now, I'm not working with the mayor, with the Office of African American Affairs. So I was an intern there, so I'm speaking as somebody that has worked there, but I'm just speaking as like a citizen. Like I don't want you to be like, oh yeah, mayor, I'm mad at you, say some wild stuff. I don't want to get in trouble. Like one day I want to get paid.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Inshallah. So that's your disclaimer.
Inshallah.